Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Patriot Patch Company and Camerado. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good.
So, what's everybody been up to?
Same old boring stuff, sorting wheel weights.
Yeah.
Magnets helped. Just gotta learn
So
to keep the magnet off the clip.
Yeah. Now, were you paying attention and seeing if Z shows up for the zinc ones?
Zinc isn't magnetic, like lead.
No. Remember last week or week before we were talking and somebody had mentioned that most of the zinc ones have a Z stamped on it?
Yes, that was me.
Yeah. Did you pay attention and see if that's actually coming true?
Seems to be, yeah. Seems to be. Hey, there's Russ in Alaska. How you doing, bud? Yeah, anytime I see a Z cast into the lettering of the wheel weight,
Yeah.
And then, of course, the ones that are kind of iffy. Usually, if it's a 3 or 4 ounce wheel weight, you can bend them. Pair of pliers one hand, gloves in the other, and give them a little squeeze, little hug. They usually bend for you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, too, the lineman pliers actually do work. Zinc, you won't get a bite out of it. Lead, you'll actually get a little shiny metal. How are you, Mr. Nelson? How about you? What you doing guns reloading this week, bud?
Nothing.
Oh,
I got a grandson that's due any time now.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, over to you, bud.
I just spent money. Nick came back last. Let me make sure I say it right. Yeah, Friday night. On Saturday, him and I went to an auction. I picked up a few guns and spent a little more money, but ended up picking up a World War II Canadian English high power. That was one of the ones I got. Pretty nice gun.
Canadian English high power.
Mm-hmm.
That's a high power as in Browning?
Yep, that's the direct copy. Of course, during the war, Germans took occupation of the factory in Belgium, so they set up in a plant in Toronto, Canada, to build them for the Brits as well as the Canadians. So pretty
9mm,
nice.
of course.
Yep, 9mm.
Has it still got good finish on it?
Oh yeah, it's got the award. Well, it's been re-arsenaled in '63. A lot of them were re-arsenaled for the Canadians, so they reconditioned it and repaint it and stamped it as being re-arsenaled. But it looks nice. Looks nice.
Outstanding.
The fixed sight one or the artillery model?
The fixed sight.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty nice gun, nice and tight, and haven't shot it yet, but I'll do that in the next week or so.
Don't do it in Illinois.
Well, I can shoot those in Illinois. That and BB guns.
Yep.
Okay.
and Nerf guns.
What about pellet rifles? They're probably not allowed.
We can have
Nope.
pellet. I don't know, can we? I don't have a pellet gun.
I do.
Well, as soon as you move to Kansas, you got to buy one.
Yeah.
You got to get a PCP gun, and you'll enjoy it.
Yep, you can actually take down quite a few birds with that thing. Or
Squirrels.
tree rats.
Yep.
Pros. Yep.
Yep. You'll have everything low crawling all over the place.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Chris? What are you up to?
I cleaned the reloading area. That's about it. Rearranged, obviously, the desk. That way I don't have the window behind me. So I don't glare
Nice.
you guys out. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's about it.
I knew something was missing.
It
Took
is amazing how
inventory.
It is amazing how messy the benches do get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, 79, Z28. Good evening and welcome, sir. Welcome back, my friend.
It's nice to see him back. So. So everyone in the chat, pay attention, because I want your answers too. So here's the deal. First and foremost, shotguns and handguns are not included in this. They're not restricted in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Here's the deal. You have to choose one rifle and one cartridge. And that's it. Okay? You may have to cross state lines. So it's not an end of the world or shit hits the fan scenario. So all laws are still applicable. So you may have to cross state lines, say hunting trip or visiting family or whatever the case may be. With this one rifle, so you have to consider firearm laws in the other states as they are at this moment. So that is the question of the night is, what is your rifle and what is your cartridge? Now, we're hand loaders and reloaders, so bullet weights aren't restricted. And obviously that allows you to choose wildcats and, non factory stuff because you can load for yourself. So
But they have to take game laws into effect.
yes, if you're gonna hunt, if you're hunting with it, you have to take game laws into effect. So that applies as well. So my choice is I thought about this for a bit. And so I decided a Browning BLR in 6.5 needs more. I kind of went back and forth between 308 and needs more. I don't need anything 300 Win Mag or anything higher than that. I don't plan on chasing moose. So so that was it. And I'm just, I like the idea of the lever action, and the ability there to have a lockup, but at the same time, Jim, hold off on those. We'll read those out loud. So, have a lockup so I don't have to limit my pressure, because that's the nice thing about the Browning BLR is it's not your standard lever gun. The Browning BLR is actually built for standard calibers, including 7 Rem Mag. So, which I thought about for a minute, but that's 6.5 Creedmoor kind of fit the needs of everything, because I was looking at hunting, target shooting. I want to get into longer distance target shooting. And is the lever gun ideal for that? No, but it can do it. So that's why I was kind of looking at that. 6.5 over the 308. because of that, once you get longer, it's kind of a better balance. So, I mean, hunting out to 400 yards, 308's just as good, if not a little better, because you still have more bullet options than you do in 6.5, but 6.5's getting better. So, but that's my choice. So I'll start with, we'll come back to the cast here in a second. I want to cover a couple of the ones that have popped up. So, Andy 79Z28 said a Ruger M77 in 30-06. Good choice. Bolt action. 30-06 gives you lots of different bullet weights. Chris Rohr said 35 rem, but he didn't say what the gun. So we need him to clarify that. Jim Rawls, he said 44 mag lever action. Okay. John Smith said 7SS in a Defiance machine action. That's a bolt action rifle. Jason Green said a Marlin 1895 4570. And Alaska Russ also Marlin 1895 and 4570. So we'll come back to pros and cons on those later. Ray, what's your choice?
Well, being with the stipulations you put on it, I would probably normally say an AR. But being that I live in Illinois, I can't have that.
That's why I included the may
right.
have to cross state lines.
Right. Going across state lines.
Because otherwise, it's an easy choice. AR every day, all day.
Right. I would probably pick, being that I'm in the military surplus and I still like to shoot CMP matches, I'd probably stick with a 1903 A3 and 30-06. Being that 308 caliber bullets are going to be relatively cheap, different sizes, different weights, and you can still get 30-06 brass quite readily. So that's probably what I would do. Plus, 30-06 take down most games in North America, so I'd have the hunting side.
Everything.
Yeah, so I'd have the hunting side covered if I need to, and that's typical good bolt action rifle. You're not going to wear one out, and that's probably what I would go with.
All right, Jim.
My Marlin 1895 and 357 Magnum.
In 357 Magnum.
I'm thinking SHTF scenarios.
No,
I'm not looking for long range. I know, but I keep that in my head.
Okay.
And I cast for it. I swage for it. I reloaded. I've loaded everything from machine turned brass bullets, but turned by yours truly. When the bullet weighed about 90 grains, all the way up to 210 grains, my 357. It's a very versatile caliber. And since we're not going to talk about handguns, I'm not going to tell you about my Thompson Center Contender single barrel hand rifle. I'm going to tell you about my revolvers. Never mind. But I still would take the choice of because I'm not really that much of a hunter unless I was meat hunting. If I was meat hunting, well, good brain shot work every time.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm thinking in terms more of I'm not a survivalist like Phil Rabelais is.
Right.
But still, I understand where the man's coming from.
And see, that's the beautiful thing about this question is it's tailored to you personally and what you do and how you live. So that's the beautiful thing. So, Paul, what's your answer?
I would have a Model 70 Winchester chambered in 6mm Remington. With a slightly faster twist barrel than the 1 in 10 or 1 in 9. I'd probably go 1 in 8 so I can handle some heavier bullets. The 6mm gives me something that's an easy 3,000 feet per second cartridge without having a problem. should take down anything from elk on down. And with the new copper bullets and that kind of stuff. Yeah, 6 rem in a Model 70, and would be the Mauser extractor on that Model 70.
Mhm.
So
I think that's probably why Andy went with the Ruger M77. So, but I do find it funny that you went with a Winchester Model 70, but you chose the cartridge that Winchester killed.
yeah,
I do find that funny.
well, 6mm, 244. It was always a faster cartridge than the 243. The 243 was just set up with a 1 in 10 barrel when it came out, and the 244 came out with a 1 in 12.
That's because Remington
So,
loved a 1 in 12 barrel.
well, no, Remington thought it was a varmint gun, and Winchester sold it as a all-round gun.
Yeah.
You could do anything with it. Hunt deer, hunt varmints. You could do all of it. Remington said, nope, 95 grains, that's the top of the line for their bullet. That was it. Winchester was coming out with 100 and accurate and everything else. As far as what Ray would think of, I'd sit there and say, yeah, I can take, 7x57 brass and one pass. It's a 6mm Remington. So it's easy to work for, find brass for it, or make it. Yeah, it's a great antelope gun, a great deer gun in the woods or out on the plains. It works.
You mentioned a
Mhm.
faster twist. What twist would you recommend?
1 in 8.
1 in 8.
1 in 8, so I could shoot the all copper bullets in it.
Okay.
Ray, I mentioned the fact that I machined the bullets and they're like 90 grains. These are also with a very radically 60-degree point on the end of it. But like I'm saying, well, my real point is the weight was very light for the caliber. So, Paul's got a good one, you've got a good one, because we're looking at versatility. That's been the key note through all three of us so far. How about you, Chris? What do you got?
Well, like Ray, initially when the question was posed, I would be like AR, but I am partnered right up next to Colorado, so that kind of limits with some of the craziness that's going on down there. But also looking at some of the states I want to go to, AR would be out of the question. I lean towards maybe like Mike, maybe a lever action. However, given where I'm at, you kind of need to step up for long range because a lot of the elk hunting I do is, you're going to see the elk out there further out. So ideally, I'd just build my own rifle, maybe off something like American Rifle Company action or something like that. But if we're talking factory built, I'd probably go right up the street, 2 hours, get a Weatherby Model 307 Alpine MDT carbon, but have them shorten the barrel from 24 to 20 inches because I will be shooting suppressed. But it's lightweight. That 7 PRC gives you the option to go from light bullets, that 135, 9-ish grain, all the way up to 190. So that's going to take anything in North America, as long as you're obviously smart about it. And then it's light enough that you can hunt with it without getting exhausted. It's a 1 in 8 twist, kind of like Paul's saying. So I can shoot the solid bullets, because if you got to go to a certain state that they don't allow the normal cup and core, you got to shoot solids. So I could do that. And it's, I like shooting long range. So that 7mm is going to be more than enough to do any of the long range competitions and still be able to compete with some of the people. I know some people probably like, well, like if Phil's listening, he's like, "Why? Where's your 3.3 at Lapua?" I'll pass on that because I'm gonna look at less recoil on that 7 PRC compared to the bigger magnums. So it'll be more fun to shoot if we're doing that one rifle for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think you thread versatility right into your conversation, Chris. How about you, Michael? You're last.
No, I went first.
Oh.
So I did not get an answer from Nick or Sharenda. Sharenda kinda answered. She said 308, and then she gave an option for 2 different rifles. So she did not choose. So so Truth said 50 BMG, and then Chris Shore, who said 35 Rem earlier, he said in a Marlin 336. So that's a good solid platform. So Jason Green said, what about the states that don't allow bottleneck cartridges? Well, we're not hunting in those states then. So,
Well,
or we pull the shotgun out. So
Truth has got a 50 BMG, and I'm sitting there wondering where Illinois, that's a no-no. So, and there's other states that say no-no to it, California and all that.
mm-hmm.
So, Truth, you got to come up with a different cartridge.
So, Jason, that is a valid question. In cases like that, you take into consideration where you're going to be at most likely for most of the time. Like I said, this is not a end of the world shit hits the fan scenario. This is normal everyday life. So, you aren't forced into hunting anywhere. So I'm not forced into hunting in a state that doesn't allow bottleneck cartridges. I'm not forced into going down to Illinois or to Iowa or to Indiana or to Pennsylvania, or not Pennsylvania, but to Ohio or any other moronic states. I can hunt here in my beloved Wisconsin, where I can use my bottleneck cartridges because the Wisconsin DNR isn't run by morons anymore. I do enter that anymore because they used to be run by morons who didn't understand gravity. And there used to be a buttload of shotgun only areas in this state. Just ridiculous amount. And then somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere along the lines, the DNR got smart and went, oh, wait, that's dumb. Why are we doing all this? And they literally cut it down to basically Metro Madison, Metro Milwaukee, and I think Metro Fox cities. And that's about it. There's like 3 or 4 shotgun only zones in the state now. When I started hunting back in the early 2000s, it was literally like half the frickin' state was shotgun only. So
yeah, it was there was a line from like Green Lake down that was everything else was shotgun. Everything above it you could hunt with a rifle.
Yep. And finally, somebody in the DNR got smart, like I said. So
yeah. And Illinois is shotgun or muzzle loader only.
Well, now you can do straight wall, but you can only have 1 cartridge in the gun.
Right. So
yeah, and I looked at there's states that don't allow bottleneck cartridges for hunting, but it's not illegal to transport a bottleneck weapon through that state, like
right.
an AR would be.
Right. So, yeah, but I mean, it's just it's absurd. It's It is, well, especially when you think about how far out they were smoking buffalo with 4570 black powder cartridges and 4590, 45 110, 5090, 5120. I mean, you're literally talking, there is verified 1200-yard shots, kill shots on buffalo.
Mhm. Well, you also have some states like, well, Indiana used to be inch and a half was the cartridge length on the bottle
Yeah.
neck. So, you
Mhm.
know, it was sitting there saying, well, you can't be over an inch and a half. So 30 Harriet was okay,
Right.
but 357 Harriet wasn't. Um,
Yeah. Wisconsin actually removed their minimum barrel length for handgun now. So, I mean, like I said, the Wisconsin DNR is getting really smart nowadays. So,
yeah.
223 is perfectly legal to hunt whitetail with in Wisconsin. There's a lot of states where it's not.
There are a whole
So,
lot of states where it's not. Yeah. So,
but
you
and those who want to have that discussion, you know, that's fine. You can have that discussion, but there are lots and lots and lots of whitetail that are dead and in people's freezers that were taken with 223 Winchester or 223 Remington. So, yeah, you can go ahead and have that argument all you want. Jim.
Yeah, more whitetail are taken every year, but the 22 rimfire cartridge than all other calibers combined.
Yeah,
So
but
the
poaching
point
doesn't
is, okay.
count. Poaching
I
doesn't
knew
count.
you'd go shoot my ass down one way or the other.
They had this discussion a few weeks ago on We Like Shooting about this.
Yeah.
Aaron did not believe that you could kill a whitetail with a 22.
Oh,
And then I informed him what they do above Highway 8 with 22s
yeah,
at
you
200
bet.
yards. And he goes, "You're kidding." No.
That's a tad unethical. Again,
Um,
even for poaching, that's a little extreme. But that's not what the conversation is about tonight. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
yeah, no.
know,
Above Highway 8, there is lots of poachers running around with 22s,
Yeah,
dropping whitetails in one shot at 200 yards. They're ear holing, Jen.
yeah, you're right.
Shooting them right in the air. Goes right into the
Yep.
brain. Doom. Done. So, um, you know, that's kind of the cool thing about this. Like I said, the cool thing about this topic is it's specific to each person. Like for me, Jim, 357 wouldn't work because I can't shoot more than 200 yards with it. And I want to go prairie dog hunting this, you know, hopefully this summer. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but, you know, so that's why that 6.5 works. Cause I was just looking, they've got a nice cut. They've got quite a few different 100 grain 6.5 bullets. 100, 105, 107.
123s.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I can, you know, I can push them, you know, and basically, you know, you're talking, I mean, you're still talking a drop, but you know, you're talking 600-yard prairie dog gun. That's the only thing I'm shooting at 600 yards, period. Um, but you know, and I said, by the way, Jim, my gun, in case you didn't catch it, Browning BLR.
You did. I'm sorry.
So, Browning BLR and 6.5 needs more. So,
6.5 Creedmoor.
yep.
You did say that, and
So
I wasn't paying attention.
that's okay. I don't pay attention. I'm too broke. So, JT Shui said the only reason Minnesota is stuck with shotgun areas is because of individuals in the legislature and other uninformed people. Correct. Alaska Russ said a native girl saved her life during a polar bear attack with a 223. Yeah, I know people that have saved their lives with 22s against grizzlies too. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it on a regular basis. Although my daddy said it's better to be lucky than good sometimes. Stephen H said a Ruger 7744 bolt action in 44 rem. It's a sweet gun.
44 Remington Magnum. That's good caliber.
But once again, just like your 357, you're kind of limited distance, even though you're putting it on a longer barrel. So it's just ballistically, they won't stay stabilized that far. So that's the problem you're running with too. I mean, you can push a 30-30 or a 35 rem out 300 yards, maybe 400, but ballistically at some point in time, you just kind of run out of stability. So Wisconsin Woodworking said Browning X-Bolt Speed 2 long range 7 rem mag. There you go. 7 rem mag. The nice thing about that, you got your 7mm bullets, so there's a huge selection there. And you can download them. So, but so yeah, it's kind of a fun little conversation to talk about. I thought about Odd 6. I thought about all sorts of other things. But I kind of like the idea of the lever action. Because frankly, let's face it, lever actions are cool.
Now, I was thinking you were going to go with that 257 Weatherby.
I thought about it. I thought about a few different Weatherby cartridges. But I kind of decided on the 6.5. I've loaded the 257, and it doesn't have a lot of flexibility in it. It's got great speed, and theoretically you could you can use it on up to elk. So, with 120 grain bullets and pushing it fast enough, but
I got to put you something.
Go ahead.
There. Good old Andy.
So
180 grain mold, 180 grain mold cast in zinc. Comes out at 113 grain, and they come flying out of that 30-06. Again,
Andy,
there's that versatility.
Andy, what's the feet per second on that? I want to know.
I'll bet you in excess of 3,500. You also got a chuckle out of me, Andy. Rascal, behave yourself. You're in serious business. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, I mean, odd 6. Theoretically, you could even load up, it gets yourself some bows like I'm going to do a little later. But currently, the lightest grain 308 or 30 caliber bullet is 100 grain. They used to make some 85s.
Yeah, a 110 AMAX and 30-06 would do about 3,400. So you can.
I'm looking at the Lee manual right now. And looks like your max is 3374 with AXMR 2015 powder. So, oh, wait a minute. Nope. There you go. BLC2, you got 3396. at 5,400 psi or 54,000 psi. So, the brass will handle that, and the gun will handle more than that. So, not that I'm advocating going off book, but
We don't know anybody that loads hot loads, do we, Paul?
Oh, going off book is fun.
so I just took H4350 on 180 grain jacketed. It's 27.98. So he's basically getting 300. As a rough estimate, he's getting 300 feet per second more out of that zinc bullet. Actually, that's not a fair comparison though, because I did a jacketed bullet, not lead.
Yeah, but it acts as a jacketed bullet.
Oh, the zinc would, yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose. So yeah, that is a fair comparison.
Yes, it is. But it's also, you need to compare it to a monolithic bullet. Remember, he's casting a zinc bullet without a jacket, so it's a solid core, copper core, or whatever you want to call it. So we're
Mhm.
talking
Yeah.
ultra lightweight for caliber.
Question is it
Is it legal
malleable?
to hunt with in California? That's what I'm wondering.
Probably.
Because that'd be
See?
fun. Excuse me. Sorry, Chris. I forgot to mute. Running with Scissors said, get you a Remington 260. That's a fun cartridge.
.30 caliber neck down to 6.5. Gee, many Christmas. That sounds awful familiar. There's no similar calibers like that on the market, is there?
Well, if you think about it, think of how many different cartridges use the 308 parent case. You got 243, 260, 7/8. That's just three off the top of my head. I know there's more. So.
You can do the 35 Whalen thing. That make it 308.
Yeah, and there's a crap ton of.
Yeah.
338.
Yeah, 338. Oh wait, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And again, because of us reloaders and casters, versatility we have built into it. There's no end to it.
Yeah. Oder is sitting there looking at the 7mm Sherman Wildcat cartridge. Versatile, good for long range hunting and even PRS competition. I've seen a lot of articles on it, and there's some people in F class that are starting to shoot the Shermans. So it's been around a long time, but it's with the advent of barrel makers and gunsmiths and the ability to get actions at a reasonable price, you're going to see more of these kind of hidden cartridges that have been around come to the spotlight. Because if I remember right, I have the Sherman cartridges in my Gordon's reloading tool, so they've been around a while.
Holy crap. Andy just said, Excuse me. Andy said, all I know is I measured on a chrono, 9mm, 147 grain. Zinc winds up 90 grains, and it was 1900 feet per second. And that was out of a Ruger PCC.
Oh, okay.
That's moving.
But that's 16 inches.
Yeah, but that's still moving.
Yeah, it's 16 inches. So, yeah. Can you imagine if he took that 90 grain pill and put it in a 357 or a 357 max?
Unreal.
Yep.
That's a pretty fancy rifle you got there, Chris, you were talking about.
It's not bad for a factory. It ain't cheap,
No.
but we didn't. You didn't say anything about price,
No, I didn't. So
I'm just trying to help Paul spend his money.
Yeah.
For once.
there you go. So
Yeah, okay, so I thought you were going to sit down and give me a real custom built gun, Chris.
Well, I kind of took the view that I do with a lot of the people that come to me for wanting a rifle is most people don't want to spend for a custom because it does get pricey when you figure in the gunsmithing time and all that. And let's be honest, most rifles out there right off the shelf are going to outshoot the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're talking about being hand loaders, but I also look at it this way. If for some reason I'm out of ammo, my ammo doesn't arrive because I'm going to Alaska or whatever. I kind of look at, okay, what's the possibility of walking into the local gun store and going, cool, there's some ammo right off the shelf. That's why I also stay away from the Wildcats.
Or the obsolete cartridges.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, understand.
Now, I guess one thing we didn't discuss, maybe we could add this. Would anybody change their answer if you factored in maybe going to other countries to hunt?
Ooh.
I know we discussed state lines,
Ooh,
but what about if we're going to Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Would that change anybody's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I don't think I can hunt with a 6.5 in Africa.
Oh, you can. You just can't do any dangerous game or.
Oh, you can't do the big 5?
Can't do the big 5, or it's Elan that you can't shoot with.
Well, then I'm going
anything.
6.5, 300 Weatherby.
6.5 will take just about everything in Africa.
Well, 6.5 Swede's been doing it forever. So
yeah, but they used to hunt elephants with 7x57 too.
Right. So Kenny Eagle Eye got a 1565 out of a 6-inch 9mm with that same zinc bullet. Andy wanted to let us know. Oh my goodness, that's all in the mail.
Yeah.
All right, so so if we are talking about Africa, I'm going to keep the lever gun.
No, you're only allowed one.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it, but I'm probably changing the cartridge.
Okay.
By the way, it does come in a stainless takedown.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So you're going to move up to 7 mag?
I'm seeing what it comes in. So it comes in 300 Winchester short mag. Why? I don't know. 300 Win mag. The stainless is not in production in a whole bunch of different ones. So. Oh, the takedown anyway. Let's see about the. Okay, so with the BLR lightweight stainless with a curved grip. So it's a curved pistol grip. I would probably either go 300 Win, maybe 358 Win, or 7 Rem mag.
That's the caliber I was thinking of, 358 Win. With 308 caliber cartridge brass and 358 projectile.
I would probably either go 7 or 300 because I can still do some distance. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as far as that 6.5 will get me. The 7 I could. But that 7 Rem mag is probably what I'd go with.
That gets pretty expensive for an all-around gun, though. Just
Well, yeah,
course-
but we're talking being able to go to Africa too. So
yeah,
Yeah, but
30
you
out
still can't. You still can't hunt the big 5. So you've eliminated the water
oh, well,
buff.
that's pointless
the
then. So there
you
isn't
know.
anything I can hunt the big 5 with in this because you can't, or can you hunt them with a 300 Win mag?
Nope. Starts at 375.
well,
Well, there's nothing there.
can you use OT6 over there?
For anything but the big 5.
Okay.
I mean, most plains game are shot with 30-06s, 270s.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff.
All right, screw it. I ain't going hunting Africa.
But you leave the gun over there. That's what I would say.
Screw it. I ain't going.
Yeah.
You can't leave the gun over there. That's the problem because of regulations. Okay. You can leave all your ammo over there and everything else. They'd all appreciate it. But no, no leaving the gun.
So,
Do outfitters lease guns?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a way to go.
Yes, they do lease guns.
yep.
Um,
So, yeah, Zeke said if cost is a factor or stays where it is now, I would go 308 with a decent bolt action. So,
mhm.
cost isn't a factor, as Chris proved. So, see, that's the problem. Is I want something that's practical and that I can go all the way down to prairie dogs with. Anything I can hunt big 5 with. I'm not going to be able to shoot rabbits and with because there won't be anything rough to the frickin' rabbit.
Well, what's the thing about taking a 375 and casting bullets for it? We're hand loaders and casting a 375 grain bullet, a 375 diameter bullet in say 125, and loading it up with Trail Boss or something, or a light charge and Capoke and seating a bullet on it.
That's a possibility.
There's
Not very practical, but it is a possibility.
I mean, yeah.
There's all sorts of possibilities. So
I've seen guys hunt mule deer and Barbary sheep with 375s. You know, elk hunting with it. They look at it as just an all-around good killing gun. You know, it's got basically the same trajectory as a 30-06, more recoil, but and it's more expensive, but yeah, it's a doable rifle for that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thought, Paul, loading it down with zinc, downloading it with zinc projectiles.
Yeah,
I believe Andy told me about 60%. You lose about 60% of the weight. When you cast in 308 mode, you lose about 60% of the weight that you would have if you were using lead. And if you're still there, is that correct? Is it you lose 6% or you have 6? How's that? Do you have a ratio on that lead compared to zinc? There's one I haven't seen. There's a guy I haven't seen for a while. Chico Wise. Welcome, brother.
thank you, sir.
And
But
welcome, Chico.
yeah, well, we got 3 people, you know, beside that are calling on the 375 now. 30-06 just got outvoted.
I would probably throw my new rifle in there, that new Bighorn Armory 500 Smith & Wesson, because you can cast some very heavy stuff for that. And doing a little bit of research, it's more viable to take the Big 5 over there.
How heavy can you cast for that, Chris?
What's that, Jim?
How heavy can you cast for the 500 Magnum?
Let me take a quick peek, because
I thought I saw
Bighorn.
somebody had some 700 grainers
I
for it.
want to say, yeah, there's some
Oh my
700 grains
God.
in there.
Oh
Where's
my
Nathan?
God.
You need 'em.
See if I can find that reloading manual again. Got it downloaded someplace.
What's up, Chico Wise? Holy crap. Hey, guess what?
What?
Side note. Young Guns 3 is happening.
The Billy the Kid movie?
Yeah. Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez.
Lou Diamond Phillips?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Andy. I believe he's saying that you retain 60% of the weight. So in other words, a 240 grain bullet would weigh probably about 130 grains.
So
Yes, Jim. So Underwood Ammo is actually making some 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum 700 grain flat nose.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
everywhere.
Anywhere it goes flat. 700 grains. What's the velocity on that, Chris?
So according to their site, let's see. Muzzle velocity is 1,200 feet per second.
Oh, tar God. Even out of a rifle, you're talking immense recoil.
But they're saying out of a handgun on their site. So if you throw that in the rifle, you're going to gain some velocity.
Yeah. And recoil.
Yeah. So
But
muzzle
you're also
range is
absorbing. Yep.
2239.
So you're talking more weight, which is going to reduce the recoil.
Mhm.
Well, because the projectile would perform like a solid, that might be a viable thought for 375 H&H or the 375 calibers. Casting for the zinc for that. Of course, I'm one to talk. I should be casting zinc for my 308 Winchester in zinc, and I just haven't started casting zinc yet. Still sorting wheel weights.
Okay, so here are Boddington's 5 picks for cartridges for hunting dangerous game. 375 H&H, 416 Rem Mag, 450 400-3 Nitro Express, 458 Lot, and 500-3 Nitro Express. So yeah.
I vote for the 155, 105, 102 millimeter caliber M1 Abrams barrel. That'll take care of everything, including the railroad car.
We want some meat left, Jim.
Well, not only that, but you have to go to the ATF for every round you fire.
Yeah.
That's true. It would be cost. Well, you guys keep saying there's no cost. No cost isn't a factor.
No, cost isn't a factor. No, it's just, I want to see you reload one. What were they, Chris? Paper shells, if I remember right, with a small brass part. Yeah.
Well, hell, if cost is no issue, give me the phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. That's what I would want. What movie is that
Oh.
from?
Better yet, what about the 100 watt kilowatt, the 1 kW laser beam out there? Jimmy Cricket, some of these machines are putting on board ship. Some of these weapons are putting on board ship, beam weapons. Wow.
Yeah.
They work. And don't even try telling me laser beam can't cut metal, because we do it every day in the machine shop here at work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? EDPM? What is that?
EDM.
No, this is not
That's
EDM.
electrical
Discharge
discharge.
machine.
Okay.
EDM, electrical
Yeah.
discharge machining.
Yep.
Right. And
Them have been around 30 plus years.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah.
That's wire cutting is what that is.
Yeah, JDJ was doing that to contender barrels and Smith and Wessons back in the early '80s.
Yep.
JD Jones.
Out of Wintersville, Ohio.
Magnaport.
That's right.
Yep. And but laser cutting, what, the last 15 years or so, Jim?
I'll say I'm not gonna argue with you on that, Paul.
Yeah.
I won't go either way. Give or take a day or two or 7.
Yeah. But yeah, at the same way we could go that way. Anybody want a rail gun?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting.
I think they said that projectile was weighed like 7 pounds, but they got something astronomical out of the Ross.
Oh yeah, you're getting 15,000 feet per second, out of a 7 or 8 pound projectile.
Ooh.
Hmm.
You're talking about blowing a ship up. I mean, a carrier size ship. One round
Yeah,
against that, you blow right through the hull. Both sides, leeward and windward.
yeah. And if you shoot it in the front, it comes in out of the front end and goes all the way through the ass end. So
Now that'd be a
Yeah,
way to do a
'cause
Texas dart shot on a carrier.
yeah.
So it looks like the
Hmm.
lightest grain factory bullet for a 375 is a 200 grain. So
Hmm.
anyway, so that wouldn't be too bad. It'd still vaporize a freaking prairie dog. Anyway, so well, I think we'll make this a short show tonight, gang. So, Jim, show him your hat.
give me full screen, Mike. Give me full screen. I will hog the show.
Short tempered.
I do believe it says he's short tempered. Two little Irishmen. He's both orange and green.
Mm-hmm.
Orange socks.
Indubitably. So,
Helen go blah, don't you know?
yep. But yeah. So that is the patch of the month from Patriot Patch Company. If you want to be a Patch of the Month Club member, you can go to firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2 and click on support this show. It's an orange button and it will take you to our Patreon page. Yes, we're still using Patreon because I haven't found anything better. Damn it, Russ, that's your fault. And you can sign up to be a Patch of the Month Club member and help the show. So otherwise, you can just sign up to be a Patreon and help the show. So if you want, that also on our page, firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2. You can click on the buy our merch, and it takes you to Southern Gals Crafts, where you can get one of these awesome Reloading podcast shirts, like I'm wearing and Chris is wearing, and I think Jim's wearing. And then you can also get one of these awesome tumblers. So I've got mine. Chris does have the best looking one. I think Jim's got the same one.
Yes, sir, I do. So I love the darn thing.
The
I
American
like it
flag
till I
one.
don't
Paul,
use it. Yep.
I have the extruded powder one. Paul has the brass one. They both look cool, but they're not as cool as the American flag one. So yeah, swing by our homepage and check that out. You can also find links for the social media there. You can also find our show and all that stuff. So, and otherwise, you can swing over to Patriot Patch Company, check out and see all the good stuff they got. They're always adding new stuff. Ryan and Jake are always making new stuff every month. When you do become a Patch of the Month Club member, you do get not only that awesome patch that Jim was showing you, but you get Ryan's drawing and a sticker. So, how do you like that? I figured how to get them all in one screen. Hey. Nikki Nine Nux is off this evening doing other things. So, oh, we lost Chris. Bye, Chris.
He signed off.
Yeah. So swing over, check them out. With Southern Gals Crafts, they've got the shirts. We've also got sweatshirts over there. We've got some sweatshirts making fun of the ATF, which could become limited edition, once the ATF actually goes away. So, hey, just saying. But yeah, we got the t-shirts plus the hoodies. It's fun stuff to it. They good quality t-shirts. They hold up well. The actual printing holds up well. As long as you follow the instructions. If you don't turn it inside out when you wash it and dry it, it does not hold up very well. Guilty. But to be fair, I finally screwed up and did it once after a year and a half of having the shirt. So, another sponsor, Camarado. Make sure you swing over there. Camarado. Check it out. Sean's got a bunch of different patterns there. I don't know where my shirt went. I've got my pajamas on right now. 2 years old. They're finally starting to pull a little bit. So, but they got pockets and drawstrings. So, you can carry, carry in your PJs, without needing a filster. So, anyway, anybody got any shout outs?
No.
I just want to shout out to all of our Patreons. Thank you for continuing to support. I also want to give a shout out to all of our awesome guests we've had lately, and to Nick and Ray and Sharenda for lining up all those awesome guests. So, greatly appreciate all that. So, thank you to Ray and Chris and Nick and Sharenda and Jim and Paul for putting aside your Tuesday nights to show up with me and share some knowledge. We greatly appreciate it. And on that note, keep your brass shiny.
Jump on the mill. Oh. I'll say it for Nick. Jump on the mill short bus and teach him shoot and reload when they're young.
Grandpa told me don't listen to my mama. He says violence does solve problems.
And support the Second Amendment. NRA, Second Amendment Foundation, or Gun Owners of America. Pick your choice. Take your poison. Support somebody. Support the Second Amendment.
Also get involved with your local, state, national organizations. Make sure you're talking to your local, state, and national representatives. And being nice when you're talking to them. So, most importantly, if you're struggling, keep fighting. We want you here. We need you here. Make sure you're getting out, reaching out, and getting help. 1-800-273-8255 or 988 from your cellular device. Reach out. Keep fighting the fight. We want you here. Thanks, everyone, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.